Well, welcome everyone to this info session. I just want to make a note. I don't think this applies to the attendees right now, but this session is for firms that are looking to host interns. If you're an intern applicant, we hosted a session earlier today, and we have another one coming up on November 7th. We'll send out the recording, and um, yeah, this one's more focused for firms. Please use the Q&A for questions. There's also a chat box to just add general comments. I did want to make some announcements about some upcoming events. Luis, maybe you could share our registration page on the BLX website. There's one about scaling your internship program with diverse talent. That's really about how to if you've never ran an internship program before or hosted an intern, it'll cover a lot of good content about that. And then we'll also have another firm info session similar to this one on November 7th. I'll go around the horn and give everyone a chance to introduce themselves, to give our panelists a chance to introduce themselves and share a little bit about their why and why they're involved with BLX. So I'll start. I'm Sean Tidlaska. I'm the founder of Ballast Point Financial Planning. I'm also one of the co-founders of the BLX internship program. For my personal firm, I'm based in Burlingame, California, up in the Bay Area, and we serve young professionals. We started the BLX internship program about 4 summers ago, and one of the reasons that I wanted to get involved was I've always wanted to do something to help with diverse populations. I didn't really know what to do, and there was a lot of talk about DEI, lots of panels, and but we didn't think that there was a lot of action, and so we thought an internship program is a great thing to start that's a low ask for firms. And also, it's a great way for candidates to get that first job in our profession. So this is going to be our 5th summer hosting interns, and I'm excited that you're here. Luis, do you want to go next?
Absolutely. Thank you, Sean. Hi, everyone. Welcome. My name is Luis Rosa. I'm one of the co-founders of the BLX internship program. I'm also the founder of my own fee-only financial planning and investment management RIA, currently based out of Las Vegas. My firm's name is Build a Better Financial Future. I tend to move about the country, so next year I may be somewhere else, which is one of the beautiful things about running a mostly virtual practice. My why for this is I grew up in the Dominican Republic and came to the US as a kid when I was age 11. And I really didn't know much about personal finances at all, especially when it was time for me and my siblings to go to college. And after we graduated, we got those job offers with 401ks, which we had no idea what they were, what an employer match was. I couldn't tell you what a mutual fund was, right? So I noticed that a lot of my peers had the same types of questions that I have. And once I got into the industry after graduating college, I fell in love with it and the impact that we can have. And I just wanted to provide the same opportunity that I had to other people, because when you look at the demographics of our country, it doesn't really match the demographics of our profession. The most recent CFP board statistics show that about combined only about 5% of the CFP certificates identify as Black or Latinx. So I just want to help more people that are from underserved communities get into the industry and have as much impact as we possibly can all together. So it's a beautiful career path that a lot of people don't even know about. So I just want to help spread the word and create those first opportunities as well. And Suzanne, if you can introduce yourself.
Thank you, Luis. Hello, everyone. I'm Suzanne Lawrence. I'm CEO of Advisor Business Solutions. We refer to us as ABS, and we're a founding partner with the BLX program. Our team provides the matchmaking for the intern candidates who are then being matched up with the financial planning firms nationwide. We are, as it was just stated, that we're in the 4th, we just completed the 4th summer. We're going into the 5th cohort together with this program. I personally am experienced in the financial services field for over 20 years as an advisor, a staffing professional, and a wealth management consultant of hundreds of RIAs and independent BDs across many different kinds of niches in the industry. I have a very clear, idea of how many firms really desire to have diverse staff and inclusive cultures, but they really struggle on where to find talent, how to really make it happen. And we're basically looking at how to really become a solution to this problem. So I really embraced understanding that firms who are coming in looking for this may not have hired diverse team members in the past, or if they have, it didn't really necessarily always go very well. So my my emphasis has always been how can we help to make this process a little bit more adjusted that might help you to be able to successfully hire more diverse team members. So this has really been what our ABS team has been all about. We are very much wanting to see this be a success for everyone. We hope that every hiring manager or decision maker who does hear about BLX does move forward and apply, because we really want to see you have success in this area. And also, you being here today just is the first big step towards moving into that direction. So we encourage you to be a part of the program. Use this time to ask any questions that will really be beneficial for you.
Thank you, Suzanne. I also wanted to share our mission. Basically, we're here to increase awareness and access to the financial planning industry for systematically excluded communities. And we also like to create opportunities, resources, scholarships, and a community for aspiring financial planners. Our internship program provides an entry point to the profession for Black and Latinx individuals, and it also provides a talent pipeline to the financial planning firms that are looking to hire more diverse team members. We aim to do our part in making the demographics of our profession more closely match the demographics of our country. We believe that by increasing the diversity in our industry, we can also help shorten the wealth gap by changing the complexion of wealth, as one of our original founders, Emily Miles Mattingly, like to say. So, Suzanne, why don't you go over some of the results from last summer to share with our audience?
I'd be happy to, Luis.
Thank you.
So one of the things that I'm going to touch on are some of our successes, and we're also going to share some of the things to make you aware of some of the things that we really experience as challenges that we want you to know this is something we also want to address so that we can continue to grow in this space. So since the inception, BLX has been able to place 100 interns across 69 firms nationwide. Many of the interns did receive offers for continuing to work with the firms, either on a part-time or full-time basis after their internship concluded. We awarded 87 scholarships for continuing education and conference opportunities last summer, which really was very well received. Our goal is to do another 100 placements with financial planning firms moving forward. Some of the firms who we got feedback from were very, very happy to share that they had really fantastic experiences, and they were very much looking forward to participating again. So probably more than half of our firms are recurring because they want to come back and continue to add more team members for their summer internships. And again, some will be placed at the firms past this summer. A couple of the challenges I wanted to share, which is really for firms that haven't hired an intern before. One of the things we'd like you to know is that it's okay if you haven't hired and need guidance or support or help. Sometimes firms try to figure it out as they go along. But what we do in the beginning stages is actually ask them to tell us, have you had interns in the past if they're new to BLX? Because we would like to be able to support and provide resources and guidance. We literally even in some cases had the firm owners reaching back out to our ABS team to say, I'm about to interview, can you help me with coming up with some interview questions, or what would be the best way after the interviews to follow up? We're very good listeners. We want this to be a good experience, and we want you to be supported. We also want you to be mindful that you are able to onboard and train and to some degree mentor the intern that you are planning on hiring. Also think about who is the best person to be responsible or for the intern to report to. Will they have the time? Do they have the bandwidth to be able to take on that responsibility? Because it is going to be 20 to 40 hours a week that the intern is going to be hired for, and that is definitely going to need a time commitment for whoever the intern reports to. We also want the intern and for you to think about giving feedback along the way and not sort of coming up with here's the things that they thought went well or didn't go well at the very end. So we want this to be somewhat very highly communicative between yourselves, the intern candidate, or who's selected, and to involve our team as much as possible to make this a good experience for you all. Some of the firms also took on juniors, and we have different categories of who is eligible to be an intern. Juniors, seniors, grads, and career changers are the 4 categories that we have. We sometimes have requests for firms who are specifically looking for juniors and have them come back as seniors, but sometimes juniors are not as experienced in the workforce. They need a little more mentoring and guidance. So you want to, have yourselves really be mindful of the type of level of student, if it is a college student, or consider maybe even a career changer because they have usually more work experience and have more sort of work ethic, if you will, even if they're not necessarily coming in with a lot of heavy financial planning experience. Keep in mind that you're hiring this role for an intern. Sometimes we have firms expecting candidates who have planning experience, who have software experience working with planning, and even to the degree of expecting CFPs or CFP candidates. The more criteria that you're going to place on your interns, the smaller the pool of candidates are concerned. And also, if you are looking at having a wider range of candidate pools, keep in mind if you're looking for a in-person or a hybrid type of situation, or even being open to a virtual intern. So these are all considerations that the firms need to make so that you have fewer challenges when it comes to the logistics of what it will take to hire successfully for the program. We are going to also just mention that once you're in the matching process, you're going to review the applicant backgrounds and resumes, but also you need to move quickly when you are provided with resumes. If you sit on your resumes for weeks after you receive them, the candidates are going to be interviewing at other places. So it is entirely important for you to move as responsibly as possible so that if you are interested in interviewing any of the candidates that your resume is for, that you take care of it within probably 72 hours, I would say, or at least communicate back to our ABS team. Here's what our next steps are going to be, so we can at least communicate back to any of the interns that you are considering. As far as another way to help you, as this was just brought up, we are having a webinar specifically on helping you with your internship structure and what kind of assignments or tasks or roles, descriptions, anything that we feel will help you to be successful. We are having a seminar at the end of October on the 29th that you may also be interested in signing up for. And back to you, Louis.
All right. Thank you very much, Suzanne. We have a question that I want to address. Can we request career changers only? Yes, you can. A lot of firms get even more specific than that sometimes, and they'll request an intern that has specific background in like socially conscious interests or anything like that. Obviously, that makes the pool a lot smaller for them. But in your case, yeah, if you want to say, hey, I want to work with a career changer specifically, the pool is broad enough. Usually about half of our intern applicants happen to be career changers. So yeah, you would still have a decent amount to choose from. So absolutely you can. Thank you for the question. Now I want to discuss some of the requirements for firms to participate. So the first thing is we want the interns to gain meaningful financial planning experience. So initially, when we set out to do the program, we were working only with fee-only RIAs. And then as the years went by and we realized that, not a lot of firms are all fee-only, but there are lots of financial planning focused firms where the RIA isn't necessarily considered fee only because maybe they happen to offer some insurance products and stuff like that. And that is okay. So we expanded it to fee based as well. There are other opportunities that could come out of it, even if you're not an RA per se. I know, Deanna, if you do like coaching, I think that could be very cool for one of our interns to gain experience in. So the main goal is to be a financially focused entity, right? Primarily RAs. You must commit to paying the intern at least $20 an hour or whatever the minimum is in your area. If it happens to be more than that, I know we've had some firms in San Francisco in the past where the minimum wage was higher than that. You must commit to at least 8 to 12 weeks during the summer. We recommend that you do 12 weeks because it does take some time to onboard a new teammate and so on, so that both of you get the best out of it. If you could do the 12 weeks, that'll be amazing. But at the very minimum, 8 weeks. Also, if we can have it where you at least offer 20 hours per week, all the way up to 40. We have a lot of firms that pretty much treat it like a full-time job for the summer. If you can't do that, that's okay. But if you could do at least 20 hours a week for those minimum of 8 to 12 weeks, that'd be great. We also prefer that you'll be open to hiring a virtual candidate. I think this is a piece that really opens up the opportunities for a lot of our interns because not everyone lives in the area where they might be best suited for, the best match for that RIA. We initially launched the program during the pandemic, so it was pretty much all virtual. So we understand now that there's definitely a need for going back to the office, and it's more meaningful in a way for a lot of candidates to get that one-on-one personal experience. But we still ask if you're open to at least having a virtual candidate. Some firms have done some sort of hybrid scenario where, if they're large enough and it's in their budget, we've had a firm that they actually flew their intern in, provided some housing accommodations during the summer and so on. Some of them have done it where they just fly them in for a few days to meet the team, get integrated, finish out virtually, so there could be a combination of things. It's not necessary, but just giving you some ideas. Also, we will be hosting a speaker series during the summer. We would love it if you allow your interns to participate. So we put out the information out there. We actually invite you as well. So if you as a firm owner or financial planner or anyone from your team wants to join, that'd be great. But we have a lot of great people from the industry that come and join us. Just to give you some example, in the past, we've had Maya Phillipson from Aracena Social Capital, Pamela Capelat from Bunch and Budget, and Dr. Daniel Crosby from Orion. They have come through and just usually spend about an hour with our interns, just sharing their experience in the industry, their advice, and we open it up for Q&A as well. So it's pretty cool. It's one of the coolest things that I like. So, again, going back to the virtual candidate thing, if you want someone that is local, that's perfectly okay. Just communicate that to the Advisor Business Solution team as soon as you can, the location primarily that you're looking for so that they can start sourcing for that particular area. Also, it would be great if you have hosted an intern in the past, but it's not a requirement. If you haven't hosted an intern or even hired a teammate in the past, like Suzanne said, we do provide a lot of resources for you, including onboarding and training help. We also have Sean created an internship in a box, which is a great resource. It has kind of like a syllabus that you can follow to get some ideas as to what you can have your intern do every week of your internship, including some projects. Some of our firms have created projects for the interns, and they've been pretty cool. For example, some of the projects may have been like, I think Sean is going to touch on this later, but anything from like, hey, what if we add, tax preparation services to our firm? What would that look like? And you can have them do a research project and then present at the end. So there's a lot of cool ways that you can use an intern. Obviously, there are some administrative tasks, which is understandable. But you can have them sit in at meetings, take notes, follow up with the clients, all kinds of stuff, clean up your CRM. I mean, there's just endless things that you can do with them. So we offer those resources as well. We also have a webinar where we do DEI training as well. So that's another of the resources that we offer. So, be sure to stay in touch with us. If you aren't already on our mailing list, I'll put the link to our website so you can sign up. Or if you have any questions, info@blxinternship.org. And be sure to register for all of our future webinars that we have coming up for the firms as well. So yeah, if you have any questions, we'll just type it in the Q&A and we'll be sure to answer those before we end. And now I'd like to pass the baton up to Sean.
Yeah, some other cool projects I had interns do. My first intern helped me register a trademark, which was kind of cool, like a phrase that we trademarked. And then my most recent intern helped us evaluate AI note-taking apps, and we're going to start trialing Jump to take notes. Yeah, so we originally started with fee-only firms. All four of us co-founders were fee-only firm owners because we wanted to have a meaningful experience, like Luis was saying. There's also really great firms that are fee-based that have different models than fee-only. Our main goal is just to have the interns have a really meaningful experience. So firms that have an emphasis on financial planning that will give interns exposure to client meetings and meeting prep and following up with clients, like those are the experiences we want our interns to have over the summer. Suzanne, you want to talk about the matching process next?
Absolutely. Thank you, Sean. So let's talk a couple of minutes about what happens in the matching process. One of the significant benefits with the BLX program is our approach to creating and really customizing relationships with your firms to meet what your talent needs are. And the reason why I lead with that is because in many cases, you may, if you do your own searches for interns through, job boards or posting, you're pretty much doing, 20 steps even before you want to decide if you want to move forward with a candidate. Whereas what we do is we look at the process for pre-screening to save you time, for being able to understand what is important to you, and for our team to really match up what are the biggest priorities with what we feel, personality-wise, background-wise, skill set-wise, what we feel will be able to help you really move through the process pretty quickly. So we really do quite a few layers of matching and filtering on your behalf. So we're helping you to move through the process much faster than if you were to spend the time, hours, days, just trying to get through to the same point. What we like to do is we interview all of the interns who apply. We kind of make sure that we have a clear understanding of their level of knowledge and what we feel readiness. We also have an interview with each of the firms. As soon as you apply, we review your information. We look at your requests for what you want your intern to do. We want to understand, are you looking to potentially hire after the summer? That helps us to narrow down, people who either are looking for a full-time position to be matched with firms who are looking to add to their team afterwards, or not so much, which is fine either way. But ideally, we're looking at coming together with you to really understand and come together as partners in this process. So it's very similar to working with a recruitment firm. It's just that we customize it and we keep the eye of this is now, a diverse group. There might be some suggestions that we can make to even help you to make adjustments with your expectation for what you want the intern's capabilities to come in the door with, and give a little more feedback on the process for you. We do expect to have more intern applicants than the numbers of positions that will be open for hire. So having a sense of what we feel is going to really give you a sense of prioritizing, because we will usually have a significant number of intern applicants per positions that you can hire for. If we receive a request for, let's say, 2 interns, we're going to send you a minimum of 3 applicants per position open. So you'll get 6 resumes as a starting point. And again, we'll work with communication, high touch communication during the matching process. You are going to essentially have the firm responsibility for conducting interviews with your appropriate staff members or team members. And should you decide to make offers, you will go ahead with your own background check process that you would normally do for anyone who you're really looking to hire for your team. This year, we're actually starting the matchmaking process in as early January as possible, because we want to make sure that we can have everyone matched up, ideally by the end of February, and we're not bumping into tax season, which of course everyone knows you're going to be very, occupied with tax prep and communication with CPAs in March and April. So we just want you to know this is why we want you to be responsive with applying, with interviewing, with meeting us, and with communicating, because as long as there's steady communication back and forth, we will move very well with the matching process.
Thank you, Suzanne. I also want to talk about some of the benefits of the program, specifically for the firm, what you get out of working with the BLX program and its interns. The biggest value that the firms got out of this program was access to pre-screened, qualified, diverse candidates. I like to say that we like to eliminate the excuse that there's a lack of talent or diverse talent that is hard to find. I always hear that from firms. But we have the proof that there is a lot of diverse talent out there, and they're very eager to be in this industry, and we have them, right? So we like to take that excuse off the table, right? And just make that awareness that there is a place where you can get the next generation of talent. We have fostered relationships with historically Black colleges and universities, Hispanic serving institutions, CFP board registered programs, professional organizations like Diversitas, FAIR, NAPFA, Next Gen Groups, Quad A, and so on. You also get a dedicated relationship manager from the ABS team. You have access to talent for future hiring. So if you participate in a program and in the future you have a hiring need, you can definitely share that job posting with us and we'll blast it out on our internal channels, social media, newsletter, and so on. Also, think about it this way. I mean, what if you're looking to hire in the future and you're getting an intern, what better way to test drive that candidate, right? As opposed to just interviewing somebody that you don't know whether they may or may not work out. By having an intern, you get someone to work with for 8 to 12 weeks with no commitment on your end other than paying them, right? You can see if they're a really good fit, if they have potential. And if they are, then you can go ahead and make that offer for that job that you're looking to fill. We also provide DEI training to all the firms. Your firm name is displayed on our website as well. We have access to hiring resources that we provide to you. That could be background check companies, other things like sample job offer letters, things of that sort. We have an online Slack community for participating firms so that way you can have peers that are also participating or have participated in the program. You can share ideas and things like that. And also interns themselves, they bring a lot to the table, a fresh set of eyes, diverse perspective from their backgrounds and experiences. I thought I was good with technology until I got my first intern, college kid, just showed me so many things that were out there that I didn't even know existed that I was then able to implement in my own firm and change some of the things that I was doing in terms of more onboarding clients and some of my workflows, which was amazing, and the things that he showed me had nothing to do with financial planning, but I was able to use them in my practice, right? So there's a lot of things that you can gain as well from the interns. So now, I'd like Suzanne, if you can share a little bit about some of the participation fees and some of the financial commitments from the firms. I'll share, Sean, if you can share the screen of the document, the firm brochure, if you have it handy.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah, I'll pull it up in a second.
Thank you.
Okay, so as far as the firm participation fees go, what we want you to know is we really do put a heavy lift in making this process as streamlined for you as possible. And with that, we really also really want you to understand that this is really a way for us to help you to meet your goals of hiring diverse talent, but also to be able to benefit by having a strong pool of candidates. We do really need to have resources to help the organization with the costs. So we do have different buckets, if you will, of our fee structure depending on the firm size. We start with the enterprise firms who may potentially have more interns that they would like to hire. We use $1 billion or more AUM sort of as the barometer as far as that goes. For hiring 1 to 2 interns, the fee is $5,000. 3 to 4 interns is $7,500. 5 or more interns is $10,000, and above 5, we ask for an additional $2,000 per hire. For the large firms, we are looking at team members who have anywhere from 10 to 20 team members. If you're looking for 1 to 2 interns, it's $3,500. For small to mid-sized firms, we're looking at usually 10 or under as far as the firm sizes goes. And we are looking at $2,500 for an intern. And then for solo practitioners, we charge $1,000 for hiring 1 intern. If we move through the process, and for one reason or another, if an intern is not placed at your firm, you can participate the following year with a no fee attached. We basically apply the credit for the next summer's intern pool. We do receive several requests to share open positions within our BLX network. Right now, offering job posting opportunities for participating firm is another method that we can help you with any type of internal promotion, if you will, or awareness. So that is something, as Louis was just mentioning, about having, sort of a tool kit for how we can help you internally with resources. We're also always looking to secure additional corporate sponsorships, and we accept individual donations. We are a 501c3 organization. As we grow, we want to continue offering even more resources and scholarships for interns. All of this is really, sort of being packaged to build out our program that continuously will have more and more opportunities, whether they're for scholarships for a CFP exams or attending conferences or externships, free passes. We really do appreciate the financial support that can be provided in the forms of fee participation, donations, as well as any potential corporate sponsorships as well.
Thank you, Suzanne. Ruth had a question. Do we accept CPT for internships? I'm not sure if I know what that is. Is that like course credit that you're looking for? I think Ruth might be an intern candidate. Ruth, maybe you could share a little bit more information about that. I'm not sure. Yeah, I did want to share a couple more things about some additional benefits that firms get. Even if you're a bigger firm, sometimes we get questions like, how do I even extend a job offer? And we can coach you on how to do that. We have resources for how to do a background check on someone, how to do a reference check on somebody. We have sample employment agreements, NDAs. So we try to make it as less scary as possible to hire someone. I know it can be intimidating sometimes, your first hire. You can even pay someone over PayPal or Venmo. You don't necessarily have to have like a payroll system set up. In terms of the time commitment, we want you to provide at least 20 hours of work to your intern, but that doesn't mean that you're going to have to monitor them for 20 hours or it's going to take an additional 20 hours of your time. You do want to have like a weekly team meeting with them, a weekly check-in to kind of see how their internship is going, like what do they have going on for the week and any questions. You also want to give them a chance to just shadow you. So there's lots of ways to fill that time. Applications are now open and they close December 31st. We'll send out communications and reminders. You can sign up for our mailing list to stay up to date and apply. You can do that both at you can apply and you can sign up for our mailing list at blxinternship.org. Suzanne's team will follow up with next steps after the application deadline once you do apply. The matching process starts at the beginning of the year, and like Suzanne was saying, our goal is to match everyone by the end of February or mid-March. We'll have a firm orientation and DEI webinar once all the firms and interns are matched. Typically, the program kicks off in the summer. That's when we have our speaker series, but it's up to the firms and the interns to decide on the best date. I know Luis has had his intern start sooner because he wanted some help with tax season. We have a couple upcoming events I wanted to remind you of. Scaling your internship program with diverse talent is on October 29th. And we have another firm info session for those looking to host interns on November 7th. Please share this program with your colleagues. we've got lots of great candidates. They just need a home. So if you could share this with other firms, we'd really appreciate it. So CPT, it's a work permit granted an international student to do an internship. I think that depends on like the company. Um, if the company grants those.
Yeah, Ruth, I think if I'm not mistaken, that would require F1 visa. Um, so our program, as long as you're eligible to work in the United States, you can apply, but I would think that the firm that you end up matching with would have to be willing to go through that process of getting the F1 visa approved for you to be able to participate. So it definitely creates another hurdle, not impossible, but something for us to then consider when you're being matched with a firm.
And I'll just add to it that we've had those requests in the past, but it's usually just enterprise firms that would even have the capacity to usually, sponsor a an intern, and it's really been very uh, challenging to be able to find any firms that in the past that have been able to even sponsor. So I would just say it's potentially possible, but it's also depends on the firms that are participating. And if it's something that we can make a connection, we will. But it is a special request.
Well, great. Thank you for attending. If you have any other further questions, you can email us at info@blxinternship.org. Thank you for attending the webinar. Have a good day.